On the open grasslands of Africa, one male lion stood between a pack of hyenas and the meal they wanted. He was alone. They had numbers. The pack spread through the grass, testing him from every side. One moved toward the front. Another slipped behind. Several more waited beyond the dust, watching for the first sign of weakness. The lion could leave. He could surrender the meal and avoid the confrontation. But he did not move. His head stayed low. His golden eyes followed every step of the pack. Then one hyena came too close. The lion exploded forward, and in a single instant, the animals that had come to steal his meal became the ones running for their lives. The African grassland had been quiet beneath the afternoon sun. Dry golden grass stretched toward the horizon. The wind carried the sound of insects, distant birds, and animals moving across the open plain. Near a patch of low bushes, a large male lion rested beside a feeding site. His heavy mane moved gently in the wind. His body appeared relaxed, but he was never truly unaware. A male lion may look calm, but calm does not mean careless. Every sound matters. Every movement in the grass can signal danger, competition, or opportunity. The meal beside him had cost energy. It had cost strength. And in the wild, food is never guaranteed. A successful hunt can mean survival for another day. Losing that food can mean weakness. Weakness can invite rivals. And rivals can turn one bad moment into a serious threat. The lion understood that. But he was not the only animal watching the feeding site. Beyond the grass, spotted shapes had begun to gather. Hyenas are among the most intelligent competitors on the African plains. They are patient, they are social, and they understand the power of cooperation. A single hyena would rarely challenge a strong male lion at close range. The risk would be too great. But a pack creates options. One animal can distract. Another can search for an opening. Others can wait beyond the lion's reach until the right moment arrives. The hyenas did not rush directly toward him. They stopped at a distance. They watched. They listened. They studied his position and the space around the meal. One hyena stepped closer. The lion lifted his head. The hyena stopped. A second moved along the edge of the grass. The lion turned toward it. The pack was testing his reactions. They wanted to know how quickly he would respond, how far he would chase, and how much ground he was willing to defend. The lion knew exactly what they were doing. More hyenas arrived. Their calls spread across the grassland. The silence disappeared beneath a rising chorus of whoops, growls, and nervous laughter. The pack became bolder. They moved closer together, then spread apart again. One approached the feeding site. Another rushed toward the lion's side before jumping back. The lion rose to his feet. His full size became clear. Broad shoulders, powerful legs, a heavy mane that made him appear even larger. He stood over the meal and faced the pack. The hyenas hesitated. They understood the danger in front of them. One strike from the lion's paw could end the confrontation for the nearest attacker. But hunger pushed them forward. The food was close. The lion was alone. And the pack understood one possibility. If they created enough pressure, perhaps even a male lion could be forced to move. The circle tightened. The first serious attempt came from behind. While two hyenas held the lion's attention, another slipped through the grass toward the feeding site. The lion noticed. He spun and charged. The hyena turned instantly, racing away as the lion's paws tore through the dry earth. Dust exploded behind them. For several seconds, the lion chased with terrifying speed. But the hyena had never intended to fight. Its purpose was to pull him away. The moment the lion moved, the rest of the pack rushed toward the food. Several hyenas reached the feeding site. They pushed forward, trying to claim whatever they could before the lion returned. For a moment, the strategy appeared to work. One animal distracted him. The others took advantage. But the lion did not continue the chase. He stopped, turned, and saw the pack moving in behind him. The hyenas believed they had created the perfect opening. They were wrong. The lion raced back. The pack scattered in every direction. Some disappeared into the grass. Others ran only a short distance before stopping to watch. The lion returned to the feeding site and stood over it once again. His breathing was heavier now. The hyenas had failed to take control, but they had learned something important. The lion could not pursue one attacker without exposing the meal to the others. And every failed charge cost him energy. Every second of hesitation gave the pack more confidence. The hyenas no longer needed one perfect attack. They could force him to move, force him to turn, force him to spend strength while they waited. This was no longer a simple contest over food. It had become a battle between power and pressure. The lion had the greater force. The hyenas had time, and time was beginning to work against him. The lion adjusted his strategy. He stopped chasing far. He stayed close to the feeding site. Instead of following one hyena into the grass, he used short, violent charges to force the nearest attackers back. The pack reacted immediately. They moved when he looked away. They stopped when he faced them. They kept themselves just beyond the reach of his claws. The lion was surrounded, but he was no longer allowing the pack to control his movement. He lowered his body and roared. The sound rolled across the plain. For a moment, the hyenas froze. Then one tried the edge again. The lion lunged. The animal jumped back. Another rushed toward the meal, but the lion turned before it could get close. The pack had numbers, but numbers meant little if no individual was willing to become the first one caught. The lion understood that fear, and he began using it against them. Then the pack made its boldest move. Several hyenas advanced together. Others waited for the lion to turn. The pressure came from multiple directions at once. For 1 second, the lion faced the wrong side. A hyena rushed in and reached the edge of the feeding site. It seemed the pack had finally broken his defense. The lion reacted immediately. He charged toward the intruder. The hyena tried to escape, but the lion closed the distance fast. The rest of the pack erupted into confusion. Some rushed forward. Others backed away. The organized pressure collapsed. If the pack could break the lion's discipline once, the meal would be theirs. But the lion did not chase too far. He stopped before leaving the food exposed. Then he turned back toward the rest of the pack. He did not need to catch the hyena. He only needed to destroy their confidence. And it worked. The animals that had been closing in began to spread out. The circle widened. Their calls continued, but their bodies no longer carried the same certainty. The balance of power had shifted again. The lion returned to the feeding site and stood tall. The hyenas remained nearby, watching from the grass. They were still hungry. They were still numerous, but they were no longer advancing. The lion had shown them that every attempt carried a cost. He had refused to be pulled too far away. He had refused to waste all his strength in long pursuits. And he had refused to let the pack decide where he should move. For several moments, neither side acted. The grass shifted between them. Dust settled slowly across the ground. The hyenas waited for another opening. The lion waited for another challenge. But the opening never came. One by one, the pack began to retreat. Some moved deeper into the grass. Others stopped in the distance and looked back. They had not been defeated by a larger group. They had been stopped by one animal that understood exactly what he was. A male lion survives through strength, confidence, and control. Hyenas survive through coordination, patience, and pressure. One side relies on force. The other relies on numbers. This time, the pack created openings, but the lion refused to chase too far. He stayed close. He controlled the distance, and he used power only when it mattered. The hyenas controlled the space around him. The lion controlled the moment. That difference decided the confrontation. The pack still had numbers, but the lion had discipline, and on this afternoon, discipline was enough. The meal remained under his control. The hyenas disappeared into the grass. There was no hatred between them, no revenge, only two different survival strategies colliding over the same resource. The hyenas came because hunger demanded it. The lion stood his ground because survival demanded the same. In the African wilderness, power is not always measured by how many stand beside you. Sometimes, it is measured by how long you are willing to stand alone.